Yo, what is going on? Harvey J. Lemus here. So, in this video, you're going to learn why offers and go-to-market strategies are the most important part about growing your business. So, essentially, you're going to need to know four things, right? You're going to need to know the additional traffic that you need additional traffic, right? Second thing we're going to talk about is how to stand out. Third thing we're going to talk about why offer is king. This is the best part. And then we're going to talk about the three different types of offers, right? So you need additional sources of traffic other than referrals. You need additional sources of traffic other than referrals. Why? Because people think, right, they're just gonna like referral their way into millions, right? And the issue with that is when you don't understand that if you rely on word of mouth, there's definitely ways of like systemizing like a referral system where you can optimize for referrals, but there is magic in the ability to click a button or have a certain system that once you give it inputs, it gives you the output of a client on demand. So this is important to understand because if you're looking to hit certain numbers in your growth, in your revenue, in your client acquisition, then you must understand you need a process, A to Z process, A to Z timeline of if I do this, then this will happen, then this will happen, this will happen, which will convert and it will equal a client. So when you rely on word of mouth, you're relying on the goodness of people's hearts to actually go and help you, which when we're talking about business growth, is not ideal. Like, would it happen? Of course it will. There's definitely ways of creating a process where you can manufacture a referral. However, there isn't a way where you can click a button and referrals start spewing out of the machine, right? So you need a process where you can create a system that can generate additional sources of traffic, and the input isn't the goodness of people's hearts, it's money or it's this exchange of time for whatever, right? Even organic, right? I think organic and referrals are so overrated. They're the things that people believe just because they're free and just because they're inexpensive, that's the thing that's going to get them from A to Z. There's the popular saying, what got you here won't get you there. So you need to understand the differences in between what's going to get you here versus what's going to get you there. And organic and referrals aren't that. So second thing we're going to talk about is how to stand out. So this is something that it really varies in your industry. In the industry that we're in, the thing that's going to make you stand out, let's say in home services, right? The thing that's going to make you stand out is your content and your service, right? If you can deliver on those two things, people aren't, and when you're working with service-based businesses like professionals such as accountants, or you're talking about roofing or something like that, the things that are going to make you stand out is your content and your service. So the content, meaning for example, you're taking videos and they look super high quality and you got the branding on point, you got the logos, you got maybe the owner telling a little bit of his story, going over things like that. That is enough to make you the category king in your area, just because most service or home service based businesses aren't even doing that, nor accountants, because the bar is so low when it comes to content in those industries, especially in the local areas. That alone is going to make you stand out like more than anything. And then so content and service. So service is your ability, how fast when they give you their information do you reach out to them? When you guys are working together, how attentive are you to their needs and how empathetic you are to what they want and how do you treat them? Like that alone is what's going to make you like just blow the competition away. And if you understand that, then in a local service-based market, that's all you really need. If we're talking about like information-based products where the marketing has become super advanced and super sophisticated, like online coaches, or we're talking about industries where there are so much competition, such as personal trainers or real estate, or any of these industries where there's a lot of competition, then you must understand the thing that's going to make you stand out is your ability to create a narrative within your content. So, and this is why branding is super important, because when there isn't much competition and the bar is super low, just having content and service is enough. But when there's a lot of competition, what's going to make you stand out is your ability to differentiate you versus the competition. And it's done subtly. It's done through how strong are your aesthetics when it comes to your brand. It's how strong is your ability to create beliefs and to create a picture within someone's mind, and in another way of saying framing, right? So I would say the most important things when you're in a super competitive market, let's say you're a YouTuber or whatever, it's your ability to create an aesthetic, so a certain feel, and we call that branding. And then it's the association people make. It's like, oh, this person's high quality, this person's different. And that's usually done through the aesthetics. So having high quality content, right? Maybe color grading your content so when they look at it, it reminds them of, you know, the movie Pain or Gain, or maybe The Dark Knight, or maybe something that they can associate with where they're like, oh, I like this, right? And they can't really logically tell you why, because they're obviously ignorant to that, but it's the feeling they get from it. And that's usually done through the aesthetics, or it's done through the story. It's done through the narrative, right? It's done through the beliefs that you as a creator can strategically imprint into their mind. So the most effective ways of doing this is having a really clear idea of the certain beliefs that your brand is trying to convey. So what's the message? So let's say, do you believe in, chasing your dreams and, fuck what everyone else says? Or do you believe in just being authentically you, or whatever your message is? Maybe like your one or two taglines that you want to just through repetition ingrain into their heads. And then that's the first way of doing it, is understanding your message and through repetition, just hitting them over and over and over. And then the second way is understanding story. So if I were to tell you facts and statistics versus if I were to tell you stories, 9 out of 10 times, damn near 10 out of 10 times, the story is going to hit a lot harder. Because once you understand story, then you're speaking to their subconscious mind. And this is something that thousands of people are doing every day, and they're not even aware of it. Because when you're giving a story, you're actually giving them value, right? You're giving them something that they're going to remember rather than just stats and statistics. So story is definitely the most important way into how to pass the subconscious mind, and just other than maybe understanding their cognitive biases, which is way too sophisticated for the average person, I would say understanding story and understanding the aesthetics is how you're going to stand out. The third thing is offer is king. So offer is king. Most people don't understand that if you nail your offer, then you are the category king. And if you become the category king, that means through positioning, you're better than everyone else, and no one can do anything about it. It's kind of like you're the big brother who's just stronger and has way more influence over everything. And your little brother's trying to come and take something from you. You're just you have no chance. It's positioning. It's the ability to understand that the people who develop positioning first usually are the strongest, and they usually take 80% of the market. And if you want to be a leader in your space, you have to understand positioning, because positioning is what's going to allow you to just beat the competition by default with as little effort possible. So when you understand positioning, you understand that no one can compete with you. And if you put your chips and you put a lot of attention and your focus into understanding how to develop stronger positioning, then people aren't even going to be able to compete. So what I mean by positioning, so there's a couple ways. There's categories, right? So we have health, wealth, and relationships. This is what most people know: health, wealth, and relationships. Those are the 3 big categories. And then there's niches within those. There's subcategories, let's say, right? There's subcategories. And in health, it's weight loss, it's bodybuilding, it's Pilates, it's running, right? It's it's maybe surgery. And then in wealth, it's make money, it's investing, it's I don't even know, it's real estate, it's it's like a category within the in the main category, right? And then there's a thing called sub niches, right? And then sub niches is another category on top of the category, right? So if we're talking real estate, it's real estate for women, it's real estate for men, it's real estate for Muslims, it's real estate for Christians, it's real estate for Black people, right? It's real estate for Indians. It's just going a level deeper, and that understanding that there's a category, there's a subcategory within that category, and then there's a subcategory within that category. And if you understand the end result right here, then you'll be able to tap in to people who are very specific. And that's important because once you understand the specificity, 10 years later, I can't say this word. The specificity, okay. Once you understand there's a specific market just for that, for you, let's say, if you want to go into infiltrate that, then it's over, right? You just have to understand how to identify that and then how to go all in and how to talk to those people. And that's when most people, they create content and it's like for everyone. And don't do that, because once you do that, then you're not tapping into any market, right? So if you speak to everyone, you're speaking to no one type of thing. So understanding that category, and then there's a subcategory, and then there's a subcategory within that category is what's going to allow you to be completely different than the rest. Then the last thing we're going to talk about is the 3 different types of offers, right? And this is important because once you understand the 3 different types of offers, then you understand where you lie and your ability to know what offer you have is your ability to understand what you can charge for it. And once you understand what you can charge for it, you can put a certain expectation on what's realistic for you to make in terms of dollars or whatever currency you trade in. So there's 3 different types of offers. There's repair offers, right? So these are the first type of offers that ever came out, like in the market, repair. And I'm going to go over it in just a second. There's improvement, right? And then there's new opportunities. So repair offers are like, your car broke, there's a mechanic. You don't know how to do something, we'll fix this for you. Your hair is looking rusty, let's do your hair, right? You want your computer broke, let's fix your computer. Your horse carriage broke, let's fix the wheels, right? Whatever. It's repairing something. It's you already have something, it's not as good as you want it to be, let's repair it. And then there's improvement, right? Improvement would be, let's say you want to, let's say you're currently, working out and you want to lose fat, or you're trying to gain a certain amount of muscle, right? Improvement would be like, okay, you're here, let's take you there, right? And it's the gap in terms of being better, right? It's having more. It's being stronger. It's more. It's stronger. It's more. It's like your ability to something, and it isn't necessarily like a necessity, right? So like if you, let's say a repair offer, it's like if you have a broken roof, then that's repair, right? You need a house, so you need to get that repaired. If let's say you don't have food, right? That's a repair, right? Like you need food. So that idea of having food is going to, let's say you like repair your hunger, right? Something like that. Repair is targeted more to like necessities of life, versus improvement is more of like, it's nice to have, right? It's like, and that's why more better is more incorporated, because it's not a necessity, but it just allows you to have more abundance. And then the last one is new opportunity. So new opportunity is something that never existed before, that because it didn't exist before and you created it, it has a lot more value because you can prescribe the value. So like the iPhone, it's a new opportunity because it didn't exist ever, right? So ideally, if Steve Jobs wanted to, charge $1 billion for it, he could have, because he made the iPhone, and because there isn't any competition because it's new and there's no competitors because there's only one iPhone, he can charge what he wants for it. Obviously, he didn't charge $1 billion because he wanted everyone to have one, but he could have if he really wanted to. New opportunities are like making a new car, right? That is like faster and better than like that than a regular car. Maybe it flies, right? Maybe it teleports, whatever, right? It's new. It hasn't been done before, and because it hasn't been done before, then you can create its value. So understanding offers and go to market strategies, like we just talked about, like the four major things you got to understand is, if you understand these four things, it's going to allow you to grow in a way where your positioning's on point, your offer makes sense, you know how to stand out, and you're able to, because you know all those things, you're able to like drive eyeballs and attention and traffic to your offer, to your positioning, and you're going to be the best by default. So hopefully that was helpful, and see you on the next one.